Learning Hilchos Shvisas also, Perek Aleph Halacha Hey, the Rambam writes, V'chein lamanu pi hashmua. This is what we heard, accepted from previous generations. She'osa lichotz boy, one cannot bathe on Yom Kippur. We'll continue down below. His ulosuch boy, or to smear his entire body with oil, or lino as a sandal, or to put on shoes, or live oil to have relationships. Mitzvah lishbais we call elu. The person has to stop doing those. Just like he doesn't eat and drink. Shedema, as it says in the Pasuk, Shabbos, Shabbosin. It is a Shabbos of Shabbosin, of resting. Shabbos also means rest, and you shall torment yourself. The double language is Shabbos hilochem v'nisem nafshesechem. It's a Shabbos regarding eating, and it's resting from these other items, rechitza, sichon, sandal, tash v'shamito, and you don't get, for those, the penalty is not kars, even if it's willful, or korban if it's shoygig, el al achila v'shiyah. You only get it for eating and drinking. If he did do the following, he bathed or smeared oil on his parts of his body, or he put on shoes, or he had relationships, you give him malchus malus. He receives malchus, which is lashes, rabbinical, because of rebelliousness. And we learned that in Halacha Beis exactly that it's not the same as the malchus that is done for having transgressed a deraisa that has curse. As the Mishnah brings the machlekes of the Rishonim, the first commentaries, if the other tormentations like washing, bathing, or anointing is min haTorah or min harabanan. To be in the Rivo and the Rosh, see, it's only min harabanan. In the droshes, we find the psukim that the Gemara uses, they're only something to rely on. Because Rabbi Eliezer Mekel, for a king and for a kalo to wash their faces, and for a woman who has given birth to wear shoes, or someone's dirtying, or somehow he has to cleanse himself from excrement, he can bathe. Not bathe, he can wash that area. And if it's min haTorah, they wouldn't be allowed to be lenient. But the Ran is that all of these are also min haTorah. Opinion is that all of these are also min haTorah. What they permitted it is because they're not included in eating and drinking, but they learn from a pasuk of Shabbos Shabbosin, which is a Shabbos of rest. And the Torah gave permission to the Chacham to be lenient in a place which they saw fit to be lenient, and they were lenient when it's not for the purpose of enjoyment. The Ran writes that this is also the opinion of the Rambam. The Das Malashiltos is that the other things are these other items except for food and drink are also not Torah, and it's in Hemic questions that he proves also that this is the opinion of Rashi Yuma 81b, Shabbos 116b. Even though that we show that the Rambam opinion is it's also not Torah, they are not included in the meaning of mitzvahs because they're not in the concept of inui, of tormentation, but they're added from the word Shabbosin, as we explain in the Yuma. The Tziv explains that they disagree. The Rishonim disagreeing with the Rambam. According to the Ran and the Rambam, all of these inuyim are min haTorah. According to the Maggid Mishneh, they're only min harabanan. And it's difficult to comprehend that because the Maggid Mishneh says that he understood that the Rambam says it's min haTorah. until the point that he wants to count and save our mitzvahs. Ramach, Amenu, Moshe HaKohen Milonu, from the great opponents, or those who fought with Rambam, understood that all of them are from the Torah, and he disagrees, and he is according to the das of those rabbis who say it's only Rabbanan. There are questions on this opinion that these 5 are min Torah, because in the Brisa it says atinoikos are permitted, and you don't have to be, and there's no obligation of teaching them these 5. But b'achil and shiur, we find that you do teach them how to fast for an hour or whatever they should know, or at night before. And if you'll say they're all equivalent, how can you permit the children to bathe and to anoint themselves? And he remains with the question. Because the Mishnah answers that even though that by the 5 inuyim adiraisa, since it's mutter to give them to eat and to drink, in other words, you can do so. If it would be in the pasuk, then he wouldn't be allowed to do. Certainly the other things are mutter to do, even though you teach them in eating and drinking. And but with regard to the other inuyim, the other tormentations, the Chacham didn't see a need, because it's not written specifically in the pasuk. Furthermore, anointing and washing a child helps to his growth, as we find in Yuma, and therefore the Chachamim did not preclude it from being done. Furthermore, the Torah says that that the same way you teach them eating and drinking, so you tell them not to wash and anoint themselves. So when it says in the Brisa that the tinoikos are permitted in all of these, it means when they're of a very young age and they don't comprehend anything. The Bach writes, and since, according to most Rishonim, everything is deraisa, one should be more stringent even with the children, and as much as you can have them comprehend not to do, then you don't permit them to do it. But you definitely wouldn't let them go into a swimming pool on Yom Kippur.